Motivation, simply put, is wanting. But what determines what we want? Today we'll be discussing what drives our motivation, what kills our motivation, and gaining some perspective on how we can motivate ourselves and those special around us towards living a happier, more satisfied, and successful life. I brought along with me fitness professional Austyn Affronti of Affronti Fitness, Rochester, New York, and also Syracuse, New York's professional victims to entertain us and to provide a little insight and inspiration. My name is Amanda Ashley, and this is Afternoon Cocktail, episode 24, Motivation. Welcome. And introducing to you Miss Ashley Cox Sullivan and Sean Sullivan of Syracuse, New York. Professional victims, you guys with us?
We are. Hello.
And hello, cheers. Cheers.
Some water.
So, yeah, me too, actually. it's a mocktail. That's what they call it, right? So, what are you guys going to perform for us?
So glad you asked. This is a new song called The Unbuilding.
Excellent. Take it away.
There's no money in the cure. We're not dressing where it goes. Those are old-fashioned fears. I've been here before when the reckoning comes. Is there something I could do? When the reckoning comes, you fight for me, I'll fight for you. Vacillate between the tasks, I've given more, taking back. Progress, never a straight line. It's always been a trouble track. Where's your matches? Got to burn the whole shit down. Go get your matches. Burn it to the ground. Ruled by coalition. We got more in common than you think. Your issues are my issues. It's not the time to be polite. Apologize for what is right. No, I just want to stop this speed. You can call the cops, I'll flee. I just want to talk about things. I just want to talk. I just want to scream. Oh, toe the line, toe the line. Oh, toe the line, toe the line. Toe the line, toe the line. Oh, toe the line, toe the line. You're not where we left off, but then you're off of the face. You don't see the finish line, so you better watch your pace. Where's your matches? Got nothing to hold you down. It's the unbuilding. Unbuilding to the ground. Ruled by coalition. I'm more in common than you think. Your issues are my issues. And it's not time to be polite. Apologize for what is right. No, I just want to stop this speed. You can call the cops, I'll flee. I just want to talk about things. I just want to talk. I just want to scream out. Toe the line, toe the line, toe the line. Oh, toe the line, toe the line, toe the line. Oh, toe the line, toe the line, toe the line. Oh, toe the line,
Miss Ashley Cox and Sean Sullivan of Professional Victims. Bravo, you guys. So now that song you just performed, that's an upcoming single, correct?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
When are you releasing?
Well, so these are strange times in our country, in the world. We had a scheduled release date for this Friday, but we've pushed it off in solidarity with the rest of the music industry that is kind of pausing the show, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
And I'm glad someone did that. I guess I should say we're conflicted because we want to use our voices for good, and so appropriate that the show is a motivational one, because there's so much confusion and sadness and anger. People don't know what to do, and including artists. We create. If you're in fitness, you run, you hit the gyms, and it's tough to do all of those things right now. And it did feel self-serving to be promoting our record this week, or I'm sorry, our single. And so we pushed it out to next week, and that's what we decided to do.
I don't think that's self-serving though. Like right now.
I know. Trust me, it's a weird. So can you still see me? There you go. It's a weird time, because I don't know. We don't want to not use our voices. We don't want to not play our music. I don't know what to do sometimes. So
honestly, this show has been the only thing that saved me from my mind going into a tailspin. I mean, just the research, talking to brilliant people like you guys and Austyn, and to, just have some positive vibes, and the research I've been doing on positive psychology. I mean, it's just having your mind just involved in something in general. That's, you turn on the news, you turn on social media, everybody's feeling, there's a lot of negative feelings and thoughts that are thrown out there and into the universe right now. And, sharing your art is a positive thing to contribute, so I don't think you should feel guilty about doing that at all.
Well, so thank you for having us, because without this, the inspiration and the motivation to keep playing music and to perform and put ourselves out there is so appreciated. So thank you for having us.
Of course. I mean, Ashley, I'm just looking at you. Like, you are always so fab to me. I love like your presentation, like watching you perform. You have so much energy and spirit on and off stage. I guess, Sean, this question's for you. How do you keep up with that? I mean, you have great presentation as well. Don't get me wrong, but is it pressure to keep?
I gave up a long time ago. I don't try to compete.
I know sometimes, like Bo, like when we perform together, like I'm always like dressed up, and he's like, oh, now I feel like I gotta, like I feel like I don't look like, as dressed up, or I look weird. I'm like, no, just do you, like this is just who I am, like.
We'll do the opposite and just wear a t-shirt or something. It makes her stick out even more.
That's a good husband. So Sean, how did you guys meet? So you were husband and wife. How did the Professional Victims start out? You guys had more pieces to your band, right? And you still play with an ensemble more or less, aside from the two of you?
Yeah, we've been through, a few drummers and not so many bass players, I don't think. But it's kind of been a revolving door with different musicians coming in and out. We're back to playing with drums largely, and playing as opposed to playing like backing tracks type stuff. It was hard at first because we had to depend on, other people, and that gets frustrating sometimes. But now we are back to playing with that. As far as how we started, I think you asked me to play with her when she was a solo act. So I played a couple shows with Ashley, and then I moved back. I moved out of town. I moved to North Carolina for a little bit. When I came back, she started playing keys and stuff that I was working on. And
Yeah, we were
She's been here
friends.
ever since.
We were friends for 10 years before we ever got together. And I mean, I'm so grateful that one day I got butterflies. You know, I'm like, I like Sean. This is okay. Cool. Let's flirt a bit and see where this goes.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Well,
Married for 12 years. 10 years. Been together for about 14 years now. So.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
So I love I love that you're flirting. It went well for you, Ashley. It's good.
Thank you.
It worked out okay, you know. So you guys have two. You have two albums. You have an EP. You have a new release coming. Is it a shared effort when it comes to writing and composing between the two of you, or is it, you know, Ashley comes up with an idea, Sean comes up with an idea?
The first album we did, I pretty much did almost all of that, I think.
Penalties and Punishments.
Yeah, and the second album was kind of like half and half.
Motivational Speakers was our second album was called Motivational Speakers.
Yes.
I have that one. Yeah.
Fathom the Cosmos. I think I only had one song on that one. So, but I'm making a comeback on this new album. I'm getting more songs.
We're in like a competition mode right now. He's like, I got a new song. I'm like, I got a new song. So we're.
So how do you choose like which ones go on the album? I mean, do you select a certain amount, or it's just, you know, whatever you guys both agree that you feel good about, you know, you throw it on there?
Yeah, that's kind of a struggle now, I think, sometimes, because we do have a lot of different
Influences. Yeah.
So sometimes we're like, oh, how are we gonna make these fit together on an album? So she's releasing this as a solo song, the one that we just played. And I'm working on another project too called Bitch Cassidy, where I release some songs on there, and then whatever will fit together for a Professional Victims album, I think that's what we'll put together. But sometimes
that's pretty awesome. I love that you guys got your like side projects and then yours together. You know, I think both of you being writers, you know, obviously you're going to have your own influences, and you know, maybe not everything fits for just the two of you, and that's pretty admirable that you guys could come to that understanding and not like offend each other. Like, hey, I'm just going to release this. Yeah, I'm sure.
That was not an overnight easy, you know, evolution. So
it's also a contributing factor why we haven't released anything in 5 years. So.
Right. Yeah, the floodgates of creativity, I think, have opened just recently for us, and you know, just even our relationship is stronger, and we're stronger musically together. So thankfully, those things are all you know, still growing in the right direction.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what keeps you guys motivated? I mean, right now, this is a time where, I mean, Ashley, as you had mentioned, I mean, there's just chaos all around us. I mean, how do you keep yourselves in the right mindset and motivated to create and to keep putting forth good energy?
Well, you know, each other. And we have 3 cats that keep us nice and calm and distracted sometimes. But just as I think as you were saying earlier, I mean, music is where we go for comfort, for release. You know, so we turn it up, we listen, we get inspired, and these days writing. So
we've had a lot of free time, so a lot of
yeah.
free time to pick up instruments.
Yeah,
again.
No, not going anywhere. So.
And Ashley, I know you play a bunch of. You always amaze me. I love watching your videos that you post. I mean, Sean, do you play? I know you play guitar. Do you play anything aside from guitar?
Yeah, I play drums and bass. But mainly drums and guitar.
And then Ashley, you also play drums.
I would say yes, I do, and I would.
She's getting there.
I would love to play drums more. So they're a lot of fun. But yeah, mostly piano though. You know, I go where I fit, and Sean's such a great guitar player that it's just not necessary for me to pick up a guitar when I got this guy. So
yeah. I love it. So So you guys have opened up for recently. You opened up for Highly Suspect. I mean, you've opened up for Breaking Benjamin in the past. What can you give us a cool experience that you've had maybe with either one of those bands, or did you ever get to meet them like head on?
We opened up for Bright Eyes.
Yeah,
Also.
right. But I love the Highly Suspect show because, I mean, it just felt like those, like the 90s, back in the 90s days, or there's or even like early 2000s, there's the barricade. I mean, these kids were pushed right up against that, security barricade near the stage. I mean, we're a, local Syracuse duo, and we kind of joke sometimes. We play out, we're like, yeah, whatever you guys do, don't come front row here. It's very dangerous, because it's hard to get to people to come up. But that show was just so wild. The energy, these kids were so pumped for a live rock show, and they responded to our music as if we were their favorite band too. It felt really good. It was cool.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm sure. When you say kids, like, do you mean like 10-year-olds, or do you mean like 18-year-olds?
18. I think
Yeah.
I think it was an all ages show, but yeah, 16, 17, 18 years old, not afraid to get right up there in your face and show you their appreciation. Where I think just, older crowds, they just lay back.
Yeah. different feel, that's for sure. Different energy. So the albums that you have released, going back to you both playing, being multi-instrumentalists, do you guys produce and record everything yourselves and play the instrumentation yourselves?
For the most part, we record everything at home, and I usually bring it to a friend of ours, Jeff Molesky at Moltrek Studio here in Syracuse, and he mixes most all of our stuff ever since our second album. So he's worked with Smashing Pumpkins, and he's worked with Local Age and a bunch of bands. He just does a really good job for us. So
what's it called? Reel to reel? Like, he uses the...
Yeah, he has a lot of analog equipment and tape and all that stuff. So
pretty cool.
So Great. That's pretty much what we do. Although lately we've been going there and just recording also. So sometimes we'll record here at home, sometimes we'll go there. We've been going there because it keeps us like on schedules sometimes. If we actually,
have a goal,
have a session,
be someplace,
be somewhere we get things done. Because a home studio, sometimes you can put it on the back burner for 5 years.
For 5 years.
Sure.
But Sean played, he has on Fathom the Cosmos, I think he played everything. Except I had the drums, the drum beats on one song. But Sean will,
bass player on that one.
Yeah, Sean will primarily play most all the instruments. Mike Featherstone is our guest bass player, best bass player in Syracuse, in my opinion. Sorry, everyone else.
Well, that's a huge compliment coming from you.
Yeah,
for
he's
sure.
Great. He's so great. He's so good.
So, you have your new single, and you're working on an album. When is your album released? When's your album set to be released?
Well, like we said, we don't know. We don't even know. We're about halfway done with it.
Okay.
And we're just trying to kind of figure out where the songs are going to fall. What I'm going to release on my own, what he's going to release. But
there'll definitely be singles coming.
Yeah, we're just going to keep pumping out the singles for now, and that will keep us motivated. Hoping to just release a song every few weeks or so, and then maybe just an EP, something with 5 or 6 songs. I think we agree that it's a more digestible when you don't release 12 songs to somebody and say, here they are, enjoy.
Sure. So our audience, could you direct them to where they could find your previous albums and your upcoming, more information about any upcoming touring once things get back to normal, or where could they find you?
iTunes, as a Spotify, all those streaming places. But we also professionalvictims.com. We have a bunch of stuff up there that people can stream from.
Awesome. Well, you guys. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think all our stuff's on YouTube also. I think they've put it all on there.
Yeah. Well, I just tell people to Google us, Professional Victims Music. find us.
There you go. So you guys, make sure you check out Professional Victims outside of today's show. We're going to bring them back for another original song towards the end of our program. Before I bring Mr. Austyn Affronti to our stage, I want to throw out a bone. I want to throw out just a shout out to our sponsors. This is our second season of shows, and we've picked up some amazing sponsors. If you are in need of accepting credit card payments or any assistance with credit cards, the Charge Card guys at Electronic Merchant Systems of New York, they're the ones to contact. MissRebeccaDodge.com under Untamed Events. She could help you with all your party planning needs. And shouty to Jewish Senior Life, to our residents over at the Jewish Home of Rochester. Thank you for tuning in and for your support. Austyn, are you with us?
I'm with you.
Hey, thank you so much for being a part of our show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So, Austyn, could you tell us a little bit about Affronti Fitness and the journey that led you to owning your own business?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Affronti Fitness is a personal training studio. We focus on all things health and fitness. A big separator from us and a lot of other training facilities is we don't just go by the numbers. And what I mean by that is when you go to a lot of facilities, if you have, let's say, a weight loss goal, and weight loss is our specialty, they will pretty much say, okay, this is your diet, this is your workout, this is what's going to lead you to your weight loss. It's more complex than that. We dive into the individual in front of us. So what is going on in your life? What type of stresses do you have? What type of distractions do you have? Because I could ultimately give you a plan that would lead you down the right path. But if you have a ton of stuff going on in your life that's stressing you out and that's distracting you and that's pulling you in a million different directions, fitness and nutrition takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of effort. So if you have things that are pulling you away from that, it's going to be really difficult for you to be successful. So we want to try and dive into all areas of your life. We want to try and get you to be as healthy as possible, focusing on your sleep, focusing on your water intake, focusing on your daily stress. If you have too much of it, how can we mitigate that to make following your nutrition plan and following your workout plan easier on you? We're in this for the long-term success, not the short-term results. And we do that by taking that mental approach with people and really helping them in the areas that are kind of knocking them off course and or bringing them down.
Awesome. Austyn, you're so inspiring to watch. I mean, you're so well-spoken, and I've caught a glimpse of some of your videos. You have a few videos on YouTube where you're very motivational in your speaking alone. And I think that's so important, for anybody. Like right now, I mean, you see all the memes and all, like the fat David and, like everybody is binge eating or, they're using this time. The gyms are closed, for me, like I was an avid gym goer, I could always eat better and always sleep better. But, like for me, like I would make the effort to go to the gym at least, 4 or 5 times a day, 4 or 5 times a week, not a day. I don't have time for that. But so now we're in a situation where we have time, right? And time's usually the biggest excuse for most people. How can we make the most out of our time using our surroundings right now? Do you have any tips?
If you think about it, I'm gonna get real with people here. Oftentimes, people's biggest reasoning for not hitting the goals that they want to hit is what? It's I'm too busy. I simply don't have the time. And in reality, during all this quarantine, now you have more time than ever to focus on yourself. Now you have more time to really try and instill those healthy lifestyle habits. But a lot of people still didn't do that. So I'm hoping that this kind of wakes people up and realizes, hey, time is not the issue. It's just, what are my priorities? At the end of the day, a lot of people struggle because they don't have the full-on confidence that they can actually achieve all of their goals. They have a lot of doubt in their mind. So they'll start something and they won't achieve the results as quickly as they had hoped, or they'll have something that'll knock them off course and deter them, and then they'll give up, and that doubt will just continue to grow. So my advice to people would be set some short-term goals with a deadline. These goals don't have to be outrageous. They can be little goals. They don't have to be huge, but don't focus on this massive goal. I want to lose 50 pounds. And then what happens is you start working out and 2 weeks into it, you've only lost 2 pounds and you're like, gosh, I've been working my butt off and now I have another 48 pounds to go. All of a sudden that goal becomes a dark cloud over your head. And instead of motivating you, it pushes you away. So instead, focus on little goals. Okay, I'm going to try and burn 700 calories a day this week. I'm going to focus on drinking 10 glasses of water a day. And I'm going to focus on having 3 servings of vegetables per day. I'm going to make a checklist. The calories, the water, the vegetables. At the end of the day, if I can check all those boxes, I know that I hit my goals for that day and I did what I needed to do. And by simply going in and checking those boxes, it triggers a different part of your brain. And that alone will motivate you. It'll get you more invested in the process, and it'll inspire you to do that same thing the next day. And at the end of the day, all of your results simply come from consistency. It comes from staying the course. If you do fall off track, if you get sidetracked, if you have a hiccup in your nutrition, that's okay. You're human. As long as you get back on track the next day, it's not going to affect you. But oftentimes people don't get back on track the next day. So my advice would be to set short-term goals and also set a deadline. So I want to achieve these goals for the next 30 days, because if I have a short-term deadline, that holds me accountable every single day. Versus if I just say, hey, I want to get in shape by Christmas, what I eat today really isn't going to matter. But if I say I want to get in shape by June 31st, then what I eat today matters. So you need that deadline, you need that accountability, and you need those short-term goals.
You know, that applies to anything in life too. You know, like I think I'm very goal oriented. You know, like I have multiple goals for my business, for, you know, personally. But I teach also. I teach music on the side, and I actually had this discussion with one of my students last week, and she was just saying how she feels like she's overcome many hurdles since like we've been working together, and she was thanking me, and I said, you know, Tracy, it's about looking, you know, you never want to set the bar to a place where you want to be able to see that goal and like get a taste of it, you know, and then overcome that, and then set the bar a little bit higher, you know, and then once you get to reaching that second bar, you know, once you start to get close and you start to taste that, you look back at what that meant previously and you realize, oh, it wasn't that hard. I was able to achieve that. I was able to overcome that, you know, and then you start to climb the ladder, you know, and I think that is so important. And that is what will keep you motivated ultimately to practice, to perform, to exercise, to see those results. And that's such a great point to make. I mean, you had a video on motivation on your YouTube channel. Could you elaborate just a little bit more on motivation and what that means in terms of fitness and, I mean, maybe, you know, personally too?
Yeah, I mean, to touch on what you just said, raising the bar, basically what you're saying is people have a certain standard that they set, right? This is what I'm capable of. This is what I can do. And then once they surpass that, they realize, hey, I just raised that bar a little bit. I'm setting new standards for myself. So I'm a big believer in consistently raising your personal standards, because a lot of people that we get in the gym or a lot of people that work out on their own, they set a lot of false limitations. You know, I'm only capable of achieving this. When in reality, that may only be 60 or 70% of what they're truly capable of. And what a lot of people don't understand when it comes to physical fitness, your body, unfortunately, it's not on the same page as you. You know, you want to look good in a bathing suit, this, that, and the third. Your body just wants to adapt to whatever you're putting it through, and it wants to function as easily as possible throughout the day. So when you work out, your body doesn't understand that you're trying to build muscle, burn body fat. Your body just senses a workout as a stressful situation that it needs to adapt to. So if you're constantly applying all of the stress with weight, your body says, okay, well, we need to build this muscle to be able to withstand the stress. But the issue is, if you're not pushing your limits, if you're constantly doing what your body is capable of doing, what your muscles are capable of doing, your body has no reason to change and to grow more muscle because it's fully capable of withstanding the stress that you're putting on it. So you have to kind of push outside of your comfort zone and raise your personal standards consistently to force your body to make those changes. And in terms of motivation, that's something that it's a daily struggle. So I'm sure that people are going to listen to this, and I would hope that they gain some motivation from it. And that's great. They could be fired up today. But then tomorrow morning, they could wake up and the journey starts all over again. It's a new page. It's a new day. So motivation is something that you need to find daily. And one of the things that I like to do that I've created for my clients is what I call a motivational cheat sheet. A lot of people's issue, like I said, is they'll do really good for a while and then they'll slip up, and then they'll use that slip up as, well, I messed up today, I might as well just cheat the rest of the weekend. Then the whole weekend goes by, they cheat all weekend. The more carbs and sugar you introduce after not having them for a while, the more you're going to crave them. So now when they want to start fresh on Monday, now they're getting these insane carbohydrate and sugar cravings. So now they cheat for the rest of the week. And it's like, all right, I'll start fresh next month. And it's like a day turns into a weekend, turns into a week, turns into a month, so on and so forth. So what I've done is I've created a motivational cheat sheet. And on this cheat sheet, on the left side of the paper, you write down every negative thought that comes to your mind due to your current position. And then on the right side of the paper, you write down everything that would change in your life in a positive way if you were to reach all of your goals. And then at the bottom of the form, you write down a personal message to yourself. Hey, Austyn, this is why you started this journey. And this is why when the going gets tough, you cannot quit. And something as simple as that sheet, on those days when your mind is trying to talk you out of it, you've been doing so good, you deserve a break. You've been eating so clean, you deserve this cheat meal. You deserve to skip today's workout. Your mind starts sneaking in and telling you all of these things. You look at that sheet and you say, is skipping my workout today really worth living with all these negatives? Is having this cheat meal really worth having all of this negativity in my life? Or is simply showing up, doing my checklist today worth achieving all of these positives? And then you read that personal message that you wrote to yourself, and something as simple as that can completely change the tone for the day. So fitness is really about gaining control of your mind and your mental state at all times, because that's the true battle. And that's ultimately what we try and do at Affronti Fitness, is we try and get people in the right mental space to where they are their driving force. They are continuing to motivate themselves so that they do have success long-term, not short-term.
I love that. I know, I mean, I'm guilty of all the things you just spoke about, like that. Yeah, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I definitely, messed up today. So what difference does this make, But I mean, get into that mental part of it, like I know nothing makes me feel better. Like I've accepted a fact, like I'm probably not gonna have the perfect body ever, to whatever standards I make up in my head. But mentally, I know like when I am taking care of myself on a daily basis, like right now, I kind of feel like crap. Like I'm biking whenever it's nice out. I'm trying my best to eat relatively healthy. I always keep like a pretty okay diet, but reality is we're drinking a little bit more, at home, like with Zoom meetings with friends or getting together with people virtually. There's all these things that build up that calorie intake. My son is another one. Ever since I have almost a 4-year-old, having him, he's not eating all his food on his plate. So then, we start picking at it, so there's like all these like little variables that add to the fact that like when I'm not able to exercise like I was now, like my mental state, if I'm looking in the mirror, I'm not feeling as good as I used to, like when I'm working out, those positive endorphins are legit, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel confident. It makes you feel sexy. It makes you feel all these things that I'm just really not feeling right now. But I mean, the mental part of it, it's proven in science that exercise and physical fitness, it eases symptoms of depression, anxiety. It keeps your memory sharp. There's obviously no shortage of mental benefits. How can we increase our motivation to get to the gym? Or even like on those days, like people are feeling real down right now. Yeah, I mean, how can people get that motivation to peel themselves off from the couch and to go take a brisk walk or, jump on a bike ride or do something with their kids outside? Do you have any remedy for that?
Of course, absolutely. So 2 things. Number 1, it's all about making a decision. And this sounds simple, but it's a little bit more difficult than that. You have to truly make a decision that, okay, this is my goal. This is what I'm going to do. No matter what, I am not going to break this. It doesn't matter what, excuse my French, shit gets thrown in my way, what roadblocks or hurdles I have to jump over, how many times I get sidetracked. I'm going to continue this journey until I achieve those goals. I'll give you a quick example. I'm human just like everybody else. And I got into a phase for a while where I was cheating quite a bit during the holiday season, and I was using the holidays as my excuse to just enjoy myself. And then I'd put some extra body fat on. And then I got into a point where I always allowed myself a cheat day, no matter what. So long story short, one of my clients gave me some grief about it, and she ended up making a bet with me that I couldn't get in a certain physical shape by June 1st, which was the other day. So we made this bet, and as I'm starting to get back into really good shape and trying to really hone down on my stuff, I had to make the decision to myself that I can no longer have that cheat day. And I didn't think that I could do that because I've had that cheat day for the past 10 years. I haven't strayed away from that. So I was like, there's no way I can just continuously go Sunday after Sunday without having my pizza and my ice cream. But then I just made the decision to myself, and I said, okay, no matter what, for the next 9 weeks, I'm not going to have these things. And when you make that decision with no doubt that you're going to do it, it makes it that much easier versus saying, okay, for the next 9 weeks, I'm going to try not to have this ice cream and pizza. That's not making a decision. That's saying that you're going to try, but you still are doubting yourself. So you need to come to the conclusion that I am making this decision. I am not wavering from it no matter what. And this is what I'm going to do. Once you make that decision, that alone will motivate you. And then the second step to that, throw your question at me one more time. I lost my train of thought after I just explained all that.
I lost myself too. I was just asking, like, is there any remedy for, those right now that are just kind of feeling down and completely unmotivated to get out there? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Absolutely. So step one was making that decision. Step two is do not compare yourself to others, because that's why people get so down. They look on social media and they see all this fictitious content, people living their best life, doing all the filters to make themselves look as beautiful as possible. And that's okay. But the problem is you're comparing yourself to this fictitious content. And that's continuously lowering your bar of your self-esteem, of your self-confidence, of your self-worth. You can't do that. You only have to compare yourself to you. Who am I today? Who was I yesterday? And who am I going to be tomorrow? It doesn't matter what my past was. What matters is right now and what I am going to do to change that. And at the end of the day, we are all responsible for the current condition that we're in, and we're all responsible for where we're going to be the next day, the next week, the next year. So once you make that decision, now your primary goal is just focusing on getting better each and every day and allowing yourself to improve from the day before. So you're comparing yourself to the you of yesterday versus comparing yourself to all the fictitious things that you see on social media. And when you do that and you have that daily checklist that you're checking off and you're staying consistent with your goals, no matter what, every day you're going to be better than you were yesterday. And it's taking it one day at a time, one meal at a time, one workout at a time. Don't try and look too far in advance. Just focus on the now and what's in front of you.
Austyn, that is why I brought you here. Thank you for thank you for your words and your encouragement. And, I think you so beautifully stated exactly everything I've been trying to say for the past few weeks, like with all our themes and topics. So thank you for sharing your mind and your time with us this afternoon. And where could, do you have any upcoming promotions that you'd like to share, or where could our clients, our audience find you?
We are open. So we opened up on June 1. We are not a public gym. We do not have hundreds of people working out in here at a time. We are considered more of a professional service, which is in phase 2. We are a private training facility. All appointments are scheduled one-on-one with a trainer. The only people in the facility are people working one-on-one with a trainer. So it's not an open gym format, which means there's never more than 7 or 8 people in here at a time. So we don't have more than 10 people in capacity at one time. So we are open. We are taking private appointments. You can do some research on us at affrontifitness.com. You can reach out to me at Austyn@affrontifitness.com, Austyn Affronti on Facebook. I'm all over the place. Just type in Affronti Fitness. You won't have a hard time finding us.
Austyn, you rock. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys check out affrontifitness.com and continue to be inspired by this man and go check out his services. I am going to bring back the Professional Victims for one more original song. You guys, what are you going to perform for us?
I think we've got a song called Stop Witch.
Stop Witch?
Stop Witch. Yeah, not to be confused with stopwatch
Or sandwich.
or sandwich. Yes. And if I may, because I have struggled with fitness and motivation, and so my answer, like what I need to do these days, since I've been slacking off, is find an accountability partner. So somebody that will say, maybe text you and say, "Hey, remember you said you're going to go out on that walk with me," or "Let's sign up for this 5K." So that usually either an accountability partner or signing up for something, whether it's a race or a competition of some sort. That's the only thing that gets me off the couch.
I hear ya. Hey, you got to do what works, right? Whatever works for you, and that's all dependent on each individual, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you guys take it away.
Stop wish, stop there. They're here, they're there. It's all the same, it doesn't really change. It's all the same, and it doesn't really change. It's all pen to paper, we're all stardust. By my hands, they're old and my heart's broken. It's all pen to paper, we're all stardust. By my hands, they're old and my heart's broken. Stop wish, stop there. They're here, they're there. It's all the same, it doesn't really change. It's all the same, it doesn't really change. It's all pen to paper, we're all stardust. But my hands are old and my heart's broken. It's all pen to paper, we're all stardust. But my hands are old and my heart's broken.
The Professional Victims out of Syracuse, New York. Thank you guys so much for sharing your music with us today. I hope you had fun. Professionalvictims.com. Make sure you keep up with when their new releases come out. And today's theme was motivation. So I'm going to leave you off with a few closing words. Motivation is necessary for all types of success, and it's detrimental to our well-being. While it's easy to embark on the pursuit of a worthwhile goal, the ability to maintain the momentum to ensure its accomplishment is another issue altogether. We all experience fluctuations in our motivation and willpower. Motivation can be affected by a number of factors, including disappointment, the loss of a loved one, hitting a plateau, or being overwhelmed, fear, feeling insecure, and fatigue. So, how do we keep on top of ourselves? If you're feeling low on motivation, here's a few steps you can take that will keep you moving forward. Number one, adjust your goals to focus on things that really matter to you. if you're tackling something that is just too big or too overwhelming, this is what, going back to what Austyn and I had mentioned before, lower the bar a bit. Again, I say this to my students all the time. Set goals that, you know, are achievable, but still are going to keep you challenged and motivated to work towards. And then once you overcome them, set the bar a little bit higher, you know, and then work towards that. And you'll just find yourself going step by step by step, climbing up that ladder. And your goals will be more challenging and harder, but you'll achieve them. And it's going to feel good, and it's going to keep you motivated to do more. Remind yourself about what you've achieved in the past and where your strengths lie. What makes you feel best? Ask yourself that. If there are things that you feel insecure about, try working on or making improvements in those areas so that you feel more skilled and more capable. That was my number 2. Number 3, identify environments and activities that unlock energy and creativity. Identify your greatest sources of inspiration and motivation. This is huge. When you are in an environment that awakens your enthusiasm, you feel motivated because of what you see and experience. Spend at least 2 hours a week in a motivating environment or engaged in an inspiring activity. Surround yourself with people that inspire you, that make you want to be more, that make you want to work harder. So with that being said, go ahead. Get inspired, get off the couch, and start making the most of your day. Always remember that you deserve to feel good. Thank you so much to, again, Austyn Affronti and to the professional victims. Big shout out to Boya Productions for always making our set look great and for running the technical end of Afternoon Cocktail. Thank you to today's Patreon sponsors and to our sponsors, Electronic Merchant Systems, Untamed Events, and also the Jewish Home of Rochester. We will be back here Friday with a brand new show, and we look forward to seeing you then. You guys have a great day. Thank you.